Good morning, this is KELOLAND on the go, with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
A third fire within a week has been reported in the city of Aberdeen.
A little before 2 p.m. Wednesday, crews were called to an apartment fire in the southeastern part of town. Fire crews were able to quickly extinguish the fire, which was contained to one apartment unit.
One of two adults in the apartment was transported to the hospital for smoke inhalation. Several pets were also rescued from the building.
Fire rescue said there was major fire, smoke, and water damage to the apartment and significant smoke damage throughout the building. The fire was deemed accidental.
3 stolen vehicles have been recovered in Aberdeen.
According to the Aberdeen Police Department, between December 19th to December 26th, 3 vehicles were reported stolen in Aberdeen. One of those vehicles contained a firearm. A teenage male was arrested on December 29th in connection to the thefts.
He's been charged with 4 counts of grand theft, probation violation, possession of a controlled substance, and possession of drug paraphernalia.
The Sioux County Sheriff's Office is trying to identify the person responsible for a hit-and-run crash on a residential property near Morris, Iowa.
At 6 a.m. on Monday, a Toyota 4Runner struck a machine shed and left the area without reporting the crash. Parts were found at the scene indicate that the vehicle is a 1996 to 1998 model.
It's likely the vehicle will have significant damage to the front. If you have any information about the driver or vehicle involved, you are asked to call the Sheriff's Office.
Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Perry. Good morning, everybody. Weather on this New Year's Day looks like overall pretty quiet. We've got temperatures East River a little bit colder. We've had a little fog to start the morning in central KELOLAND, but some of that will burn off today too. We're still going to head for 50 in Valentine, 52 in Rapid City, but much colder in northeastern South Dakota with the Sisseton area at 14, even Ortonville, Minnesota at 13 degrees. Coming up, we'll take a complete look at your forecast for the weekend and beyond in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Brian. People are willing to drive a long way to purchase New Year's Eve fireworks in South Dakota.
Customers stocked up on fireworks at businesses like Hot Shot Fireworks in Sioux Falls on Wednesday.
A man from Rochester, Minnesota was passing through when he decided he needed fireworks to welcome the new year.
I was cruising this way. I heard it on the radio. I seen the sign. So I figured I'd swing in and check it out. I can't stop myself from stopping in a fireworks store.
People tend to purchase larger fireworks for New Year's Eve in part because they don't want to spend a lot of time in the cold shooting off smaller fireworks.
Today is the final day to purchase fireworks in South Dakota.
The Burger Battle kicks off in downtown Sioux Falls today, but that's not the only place you can dig into a unique burger.
Competitions are happening in other KELOLAND communities as well. The Brandon Valley area Burger Battle runs through the month of January.
212 The Boiling Point is serving the Berry Hot Bacon Burger.
I know downtown obviously has a great following. I think the smaller communities taking part in this is definitely going to help bring some more traction out to these areas and some more customers.
6 businesses are competing in the Brandon area competition.
You can find a link to the other burgers in this story on KELOLAND.com.
Well, you know her as one of KELOLAND meteorologists, but last weekend our very own Jalen Borison was on stage performing for 65,000 people at the Vikings game.
What you may not know about Jalen is that she is an accomplished dancer.
She decided to audition and was one of just 24 Minnesota dancers selected. She says being a part of Snoop Dogg's holiday NFL party on Netflix last week was an amazing experience.
One of my favorite memories was we were walking out to do the halftime show and all I see is like a sea of white, and it was almost 67,000 people in that stadium, and it just like took my breath away how crazy it was that all those people showed up.
Jalen says Snoop Dogg and Lainey Wilson were very kind and great to work with.
That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get a final check of your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens.
All right, our weather picture is we're watching high pressure overhead this morning at eastern KELOLAND. That's going to keep us, for the most part, pretty dry. We do have a few more areas of low clouds and a little fog in central KELOLAND that's in the process of breaking up. I do expect temperature recovery today. West River, obviously in the 50s. Sioux Falls, though, we're going to keep those numbers probably just near average for this time of the year. Now, tomorrow, there is a disturbance we're going to talk about in just a second that'll be brushing through Nebraska. In addition to that, the cloud cover forecast tomorrow will be a little thicker for the vast majority of us. You can see those clouds today, of course, in the northeast, picking up that trend a little bit more, where temperatures will remain colder this afternoon. Now, notice we've got an southeast wind still in the forecast for tonight. We'll pick up that minor disturbance in Nebraska, and you can see a little color there, a little bit of the pink and the green, so we have a little light wintry mix possible from Valentine to O'Neill and maybe Yankton, maybe Springfield. We'll put a mention of that. Right now it's at about a 20 to 30% level, so it's not a high probability, but we are picking up at least a few signals on that. That's kind of a minor disturbance. It's part of the process of pushing the air back to the east. We're going to start to move the air mass here toward the warmer side of things as we transition into the weekend. I think Sioux Falls will actually bounce back into the 30s on Saturday. We're still in the 40s and 50s in western South Dakota. And on Sunday, a little more wind, but that's also part of that process, too, of warming things up. And Rapid City will easily climb well above normal. In fact, I would actually say Rapid City between 55 and 60 by Sunday. Today, though, we got that temperature sandwich, don't we? Yeah, those single digits around Fargo, and it's been snowing there, so there's plenty of winter weather north and east of Sioux Falls, no question about it. Tomorrow, we're still putting some pressure on the temperatures, not exactly a warm day. Seasonable 20s and 30s for a lot of us, but then we'll make that switch a little bit more on Saturday. 40s and 50s coming back to western Ketherland. Sioux Falls will land in the 30s. And then on Sunday, that's when those 40s will start to make a little more of a move a bit farther east. There's the map for today. 33 degrees in Chamberlain. We're in the low to mid 30s around Pierre, 26 in Mobridge. Forecast on the 7-day. We're going to keep things mainly dry for Sioux Falls. None of those systems we talked about are close enough to Sioux Falls to mention at this point. I still think next week we're in the 40s. We'll just see how warm we get. But even just to hit 40 degrees in January for that many days in a row, that's a pretty easy forecast to take. I know those of you that love the winter sports would probably like it to be a little colder, a little snowier than that, but that's not the case yet. Aberdeen, we're looking at 30-degree weather to start the weekend. Any chances of snow are pretty limited. There could be a little bit Friday night up towards Sisseton. We'll see how that behaves. But Pierre and Rapid, boy, oh boy, we are warming up here. 45 to 50 most of early next week, at least Sunday through Wednesday, looking to be in that range. That's way above the average high. And Rapid City, too. A lot of 50s for the weekend, including close to 60 on Sunday. Check us out. A lot of details to watch online at ketherland.com.